So while the MCC has made quite a few changes to the laws of the game, which will come into effect in October 2022, here on Seems Legal, we're going to discuss a law that won't be changing but has been talked about for quite some time. And I know some people on Twitter have asked me about this as well. So I'm joined by Fraser Stewart, as always, the guardian of the laws at the MCC. We're going to talk today about Law 41.6, which is all about dangerous short pitched bowling. Can you give us an idea of what the law is and why it's not going to change?
The law has always been that short pitch bowling is allowed. It's a sort of a fair delivery if it passes up to sort of the head height of the striker standing upright at the crease. If it goes over the striker's head under law, it's a no ball. But in many playing regulations, it's a wide, so which obviously adds an extra layer of complication that the batter has to not get any bat on the ball for it to be a wide. Under the laws, it's a no ball. But importantly, in the law, there's also a phrase which talks about when the bowling of fast short pitch bowling becomes unfair, and if the umpire feels that the striker is basically not, to put in simple terms, not good enough to face that type of bowling and is in danger. So it says, the law say the umpire must take into account the skill of the striker. In cricket is an odd game where we don't expect a specialist batter to have to bowl so let's say Alistair Cook, who may forgive me for using him as an example, but an absolute specialist batter isn't expected to bowl to Virat Kohli. Whereas Jimmy Anderson, shall we say, or the other real tail enders do have to go in and face often the fastest and best bowlers in the world. And the same is replicated in recreational cricket as well. And so cricket does have that slight difference in that there are specialist skills and not everyone's good at everything. So we've looked at this and we did a global consultation with people from all levels of the game as to whether we think it's right. Concussion is obviously a huge issue in the game, and is something that I think cricket is taking very seriously, and rightly so. And so we looked at whether it would be sensible to change the law on short pitch bowling, and should we limit it to maybe shoulder height. So saying you cannot lawfully bowl any ball at any batter's head, regardless of how good they are. And the feedback that came back to us was that would be a bad step for the game, because the key to cricket, as everyone on here watching this will know, is the balance between bat and ball. And for a fast bowler to have that ability to bowl short balls at a batter is a real strong piece of a fast bowler's armoury, and to get rid of that would just we felt, and the respondents felt, would put the balance of the game too far in favour of the batting side. And thankfully, concussions, serious head injuries, that they do happen, but thankfully they are pretty rare in cricket. No one is forced onto a cricket field. I think everyone knows the risks that are involved, but there comes a time when you cannot de-risk things so much that the nature of the game changes so much that it's not the game that everyone wants to see. And an example to stretch it, but to make the point, is that you could make Formula One incredibly safe if you put the speed limit at 30 miles an hour, but it wouldn't be a very good spectacle to watch. And the law is unchanged. There are obviously still the bit in there about taking into account the skill of the striker, which we think is important. And I think the other thing that MCC is really keen to try to emphasise is knowledge about concussion and the risks of it, because it is a very serious thing. And in the professional game, there's often medics on hand who can assess, diagnose, and give guidance on players leaving the field. in the recreational game, they're often lucky if they've got 11 players, let alone any medical experts. The umpires shouldn't be expected to be medical experts any more than the players should. But it's really important that players and officials understand the real risks of concussion. We would urge everyone to make sure they're aware. We have a very good concussion e-learning portal on MCC's website, which explains this in a bit more detail.
Is there an increased emphasis on perhaps umpires being aware and having a word when it's necessary, and that the umpire making the call on, which tail enders might be the ones who might not be up to facing, Mitchell Starc bowling at 150k at head high bounces?
Yes, we would urge umpires to look at that. Obviously, there's different levels of the game, and I think it would be for the professional game in their playing regulations to give advice to their umpires on how they think it should be managed at that level. I know that there's certainly some people who think that at the professional level of the game, it should be, everyone should be deemed to be skilled enough to play it. The laws don't say that, and we think it's important that the laws, have this emphasis because no one wants to see anyone get hurt. I think no bowler likes it. So yes, umpires can step in if they think that the striker isn't suitably skilled, and that they should do so if they think that there's a serious risk of injury.
Oh, interesting that is one that hasn't changed, but I guess it just goes to show the amount of thought and discussion and consultation that happens throughout the world when you're looking at what laws to keep as they are and which ones to actually change. Now, as you mentioned, Fraser, of course, there's all that information on concussion and e-learning on the site, but that's also there for all the laws. So if you want to go and check out anything to do with laws of cricket, the great minds like Fraser have made it really easy for all of us to go online and do some of that e-learning. So make sure you check that out. Check out the other videos in the Seems Legal series as well, because we've had some really interesting chats about everything over the past sort of few months, and we'll continue to do so as well. So please send us any suggestions if you'd like us to explore or explain any of the laws for you. Share it amongst your cricket friends. Let us know what you think, and until we see you next time when we're back with Seems Legal, make sure you enjoy your cricket.